So a slight move up on the day, closing. What did we open at? 54.36.83. So it closed about $30 higher. Big move up from yesterday's close, but actually a pretty flat day at the end of all of it. We did get a lower high today on our upside test, and we're able to maintain a bit of a downtrend out here on ES. But we closed the week above the long-term October 2023 trend, unfortunately. Or I'm sorry, October 22 trend. Although it'd be interesting to see if futures slips that before they close out for the day. Volatility got crushed pretty hard. Well, at least, yeah, I mean, volatility got crushed pretty hard today, but remains in backwardation going into next week. And the forward yield on vol is going to remain positive. Commodities continued their sell-off, although we did see some interest pick back up in wheat and precious metals. Oil fell quite hard today. I'm going to assume this is a softer inflation expectation, although I don't think PCE was very soft at all. Dollar stayed pretty steady throughout most of the day. It didn't really offer up any big gains and leverage onto the carry trade, but yields did decline pretty sharply, especially the 5 and 10 year into the end of the day. We're still pushing a turnaround in correlation, although that keeps breaking down very violently as they try to push it back. I don't think we've made a top here, but next week's data could form one if the JOLTS report comes in at or below expectations. Forward yield on volatility 2.04 going into the weekend. Definitely a big push down, but roughly the low we were at just yesterday during yesterday's peak. But they are starting to build up some seriously large short vol positions here. But that's also going to increase their Vegas exposure to the downside of spot and increase downside liquidity. Bond volatility has been moving up and now moving up inversely against the decline in core. We've been seeing tail risk hedging pick up. 60% of the S&P 500 over its 20-day moving average, so some of the breadth is starting to bleed out, although I do think that bounced back today with the 160 basis point move up in Dow and the move up in Russell. The week ending now with correlation between VIX and cash VIX at 46.23%. So still getting a lot of increased correlation there. We might see that move up even more into next week as we approach the next VIX expiration on Tuesday, right before the FOMC meeting. Fed Fund futures pricing in 0.68 rate cuts, down a little from the high of the day, but not much, and up a little from this morning. So, you know, Fed Fund futures still treating that PCE report as a positive. This needs to be out on the weekly. So the weekly candle did actually close above the reversal point, which means that we've set a new floor here at is that 53.90.95, and that breaking down into next week would be the first signal of a continuation to the downside. I will say that this still is quite bearish, and until we get, you know, a reversal, probably back above 55.70, it's going to remain that way. So, you know, things still are very, very far from being turned around, but we have stabilized a little bit on the drop. Yeah, that's about it. I will see you guys Sunday at about 12:30 p.m. For the member stream. I hope everybody enjoys their weekend. Later, everyone.